So, London has this huge, ambitious plan for its future. We're talking about a vision for a city that's greener, more innovative, and way more prosperous. But, like any grand plan, its success really hinges on a powerful force, one that's often working just out of sight. So what is it? Let's dig in.
It all kicks off with this massive number, £107 billion. That's not a typo. That is the economic growth London is aiming for with its growth plan by 2035. It's an absolutely enormous figure, a real statement of just how ambitious they're being.
Okay, so that's the big question, right? How on earth do you make that happen? How does a city take a number on a page and turn it into actual growth, real jobs, and brand new groundbreaking infrastructure? It's a heck of a challenge.
Well, the answer isn't just about government policy or some flashy new tech startups. Nope. It's actually an industry that does most of its work behind the scenes. Laying the very foundation that makes all this progress possible.
And there it is. The unseen engine is the London insurance market. Yeah, insurance. It's the mechanism that takes the risk out of ambition and brings the financial muscle needed to turn a vision into a reality.
And the way this is framed in the source material is really powerful. It says the insurance sector isn't just another piece of the puzzle in London's financial world. It is, and I'm quoting here, the foundational enabler for every core ambition. That's a pretty big deal.
And the scale here is just staggering. I mean, we're talking about an industry that manages £1.5 trillion in investments. It pulls in $160 billion in global premiums every single year. And get this, almost 3/4 of that money comes from outside the UK, which really cements London's spot as the world's go-to place for complex specialty insurance.
So how does it actually help the growth plan? Well, it breaks down into 4 key jobs. To make London more productive, it soaks up risk. To make it more inclusive, it creates jobs. To push for green growth, it gets the capital flowing. And to keep London a global hub, it acts like an engine for exports. We're going to hit on all of these.
So let's see what this looks like in the real world. How do these big ideas actually translate into things we can see and touch? From massive new subway lines all the way to the next generation of tech startups.
We're going to focus on 2 really critical areas. On one side, you've got the physical stuff, the actual rebuilding of London. And on the other, you've got the cutting edge of technology, backing the kind of innovation that's really going to define the city's future.
Let's start with a really practical problem. Imagine you're building a new tube line. It's going to cost billions. So what happens if the main construction company goes bust halfway through the project? How do you make sure you're not just left with a giant, expensive hole in the ground? Well, the answer is a pretty clever financial tool from the insurance market called a surety bond. It's basically a 3-part safety net. You've got performance bonds to make sure the project gets finished no matter what. Advance payment bonds protect that big initial investment, and other bonds make sure everything is built to the right standard. Honestly, without these huge projects would just be way too risky to even think about starting. Okay, so that's the physical world of concrete and steel. Let's switch gears and jump over to the digital and scientific frontiers. The stuff the growth plan calls London's next superpower. We're talking AI, life sciences, the whole shebang.
And this is where you can really see London's global muscle. The London market handles 28%, that's more than a quarter of the entire global market for cyber insurance. Now, why does that matter? Well, because every single new AI or tech company is a massive target for cyber attacks.
So here's the bottom line. Insurance gives these innovators the confidence to actually innovate. It's the shield that protects an AI company from a cyber attack that could literally bankrupt them. It's what covers the enormous financial risks of running clinical trials for new medicines. It's the safety net that lets people take those big, scary, world-changing leaps.
But hey, this isn't just about money and machines. A huge piece of the London growth plan is about people, about creating really good jobs and opportunities for everyone. And the insurance sector is already a huge employer. We're talking nearly 60,000 jobs in London right now. That is a serious contribution to the growth plan's bigger goal of creating 150,000 new, high-quality jobs for the city.
And we're not talking about just any old jobs here. The industry is changing fast, and it's creating this massive demand for the high-skilled careers of the future. Data scientists, AI specialists, people who can model climate risk, cybersecurity experts. It's actively building the exact kind of talent pool the growth plan says London needs to win.
So, As we start to pull this all together, it becomes pretty clear that this is way more than just a business relationship. It's a truly indispensable partnership between a city's big dreams and the industry that makes them possible.
The source material actually calls it a symbiotic relationship. And that's the perfect word for it, right? If the growth plan works, that means more businesses and more assets to insure, which is great for the market. But for the plan to even get off the ground, it absolutely needs the insurance market to absorb risk and free up capital. They need each other.
And that, right there, is the key takeaway. A plan, no matter how brilliant or ambitious it is really just words on a page. The insurance market is that powerful, unseen engine. It's the actual mechanism that gets its hands dirty and turns that vision into a real, working city.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If insurance is the unseen engine for London's future, what other invisible systems or industries are out there, quietly powering the world around us, enabling the very progress that we so often take for granted?